Whenever my eyes open, I find this. I call it world. And if I'm not very careful, well, not it's not so much these days, but I don't have to really ride it anymore. But I'll think that there's world and me. And then if you look at it closely, there's world, space, and me. But I'm going to question everything but the space. Just everybody can do this. Let's just do it for a second right now. It won't take long. Just close your eyes for just a minute. Notice the sense of being. Now, in the best way that you can, probably imagination, who knows? This feeling of being in the center, can you actually find a center? So we often think the body is the center, but what about the center of that center? The body has what appear to be boundaries. Can you find a boundary to that which notices or doesn't notice the body? Is there any place where, let's say, the watcher, is there some place where the watcher or the watched, even, some place where they stop? Can you look back and say, well, there's nothing over there. Good thing I'm over here. But what does over here mean? It means separate. I frankly, and I've looked for years, I cannot find a boundary to attention. There simply is no boundary to attention. You can go out to the ends of the universe, and if you're there, attention will be there. If you're not there, then everything about the end of the universe is supposition, belief. There's no place where the sense of being actually ends. It may feel like, oh, it's in the body, and that's not untrue, but it's in everything else as well. It is everything else as well. It's a better way to put it. So there's no center. There's no boundary. So a thing without a boundary cannot have a center by definition. So there's neither boundary nor center. Inside and outside are relative terms, and here's the catch. We bring these relative terms because they're the only terms we have, and it's not like we're guilty or it's wrong, but we bring these relative terms into our experience, into describing our experience when we're describing non-duality, which is you. You are non-duality. You don't need to search for it. You are it. That's what non-dual is, inclusive of everything, and that includes you and these units. So it feels like you move inside and outside, but that's because there's still identification with the body. And I'm leaving the body and I'm coming back to the body. I'm going out and I'm disappearing and I'm coming back, or my consciousness is blank. And then my consciousness wakes back up. But you don't have consciousness. Consciousness has you. So when it feels like consciousness goes blank, it, that's the end of the world. It's the end of the universe. So consciousness is not actually blank, but it feels like it's blank, but it feels like it's blank according to Fred and John. Because I'm identifying with the sense of center. There is a very distinct sense of center here. But we've gone over and over the fact that the sense of something doesn't indicate the truth of something. It can, but it doesn't have to. So attention, it moves in the sense of when we start noticing our attention in a room, then we can notice that we're looking at a chair, and then without even thinking about it, we're looking at the ceiling or out the window or whatever. We're not directing it, we're following it, but we like to think we're directing it. So you can't move. I don't want to say you're static, because you're not, because your content, your relative content to a watcher appears to move. And it feels like you're looking at, and you can do attention exercises, and they're very useful. But we got to be careful, because we'll make attention something that it isn't. And we'll make it me. And we'll say, I was inside, I was outside. It feels like that. I use those terms too. But the thing about non-duality is that we need to include everything. So we can use all these relative terms. I see, I saw, this is, this isn't. We can use all these terms, and we can hear all these terms and get a good gist of what the so-called other is saying. But where can oneness go to? Where can oneness come from? So oneness is not coming and going. The sense of being human is coming and going, because that sense of being human or being aliveness, that is the sense of being itself. There's no real opposite to that, because there can't be an experiencing of anything prior to consciousness. I'm not saying there's not anything there. I'm just saying that we cannot be aware of anything in the absence of consciousness. We noticed that very early on today. So attention has you. In the absence of attention, there's no you. So what are you? Well, in the way that I'm talking about it right now, you are imaginary. That's what you are. But in the way that it meant, of course, is that, how can I say you're imaginative, you're imaginary? I can't even go that far. I mean, that still points to something that might be. And what you are, we have no idea, because we can't use consciousness to see it or find it. And therein lies the rub. We use consciousness, we're using consciousness all the time. And the only way we can know that we've lost consciousness, so to speak, is because there's consciousness there. And there's a sense that the consciousness comes and goes. It's not even a false sense. Consciousness does come and go. If you look at the body, when that body goes to sleep, consciousness is still present in the sense of you may have dreams, but if the dreams are about you, then consciousness is not asleep. If the dream is unvoiceable, unshareable, just think about where you are right now. There's a great sense that you are here right now. Can you tell me anything about that? Can feels very strongly that you are. Can you tell me where you are? In the presence of attention, if I say, where are you? I'm likely to get the only answer possible from attention. And that's I am. And I am is consciousness arising. What you are is prior to that. Just notice that where you really are is beyond consciousness. We can't know that which is prior to consciousness through the means of consciousness. We can get it, but we can't have got it. There's nothing here to hold on to something else, and there's nothing static. Oneness doesn't move somewhere else, but oneness is not static. You can just look around you and see that for your own eyes. There's nothing static about oneness. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to catch awareness in some sort of static form or some sort of static uh, state. So we can say, "Wow, I found awareness. I saw awareness. It's really an amazing thing. It does this. It does that." But awareness doesn't actually do anything. And if you report that you're doing so and so, it's fine. Within relativity, we do that all the time. There's nothing wrong with it. It's within relativity is actually truish. But you have no idea what you are. You can't, right now, you have no idea where you are. There may be a sense that you're a body, and there may be a sense that you are a chair, but you can't prove those things. What you can prove is there's a sense of being and there's a sense of pressure. Pressure are the points where your body, where the body touches objects. Within oneness, are there any separate objects? See, it's all the mind. It's all the mind. You, awareness, have nothing to say about being awareness, but you love to notice yourself objectively. You can't notice yourself over there because there's not two. But if you lose identification with the body, if you just learn to somehow, you don't really learn it, you just do it. You don't think you can lose awareness, but you do it twice a day. You do it every morning and you do it every night. How do you do that? You don't know because you don't go to sleep. It makes it sound like you just picked the right thing. What you do is you relax, which is the true state of awareness. It's not a firm position. It's just relaxed or relaxation, relaxed feeling, whatever. Notice that even what it is that feels like I am here may not be completely mistaken, although it's only the best it can do is be truish, that I am emptiness, or I am an avatar, or I am Jesus, or whatever. There's just the awakeness and these appearances which come and go through no doing of our own. We can't run anything because there's no one here. There's no one here to have gotten it. There's no one here who can leave it. There's no one here who can return to it. Nothing. Hmm. So let attention become your means of discovering what I'm going to call the broader self. Just pay attention to attention. Keep bringing it back to that. And notice that with every time you say, "Oh, I've got this," you just told a story. You've got what? There's only oneness. Recognizing that short circuits that thing and identification with the body, which is something that is taken on. It wasn't something you were born with, something you've been trained into. Let awareness be aware. Let the witness witness. But don't think you have any idea what the witness is witnessing. We can say you are this. We can say you're not this. We can say I'm in this. None of those things is technically true. What we can say is nothing. But we love to come here and witness through means of relaxing, not through means of tensioning. I used to be right on top of it. Okay, must be right here. You can gently and distantly begin to observe the body and what it does. And that you can observe the mind and what it does. But what's observing it is not something else. Oneness means that every experience is of oneness, no matter how different it might feel.